Qi2.2 phones.
What's going on, everybody? So Qi2 25 watt MagSafe charging is here, and also solid state batteries is here as well. And today we're going to be testing out 3 battery packs. First, we have the new KUXIU S3, which is both 25 watt wireless charging and is semi-solid state. And we're going to compare it against one of my best performing chargers of this year, the Baseus Picogo 10K pack, which is Qi2.2 25 watt. And I'm going to throw in the results of an older but cheaper Qi2 10K 15 watt MagSafe charger from ESR. And the KUXIU S3 is a semi-solid state battery. So in this video, we're going to go over why solid state batteries might be the future for all MagSafe wireless chargers. And also we're going to see if there's a difference when it comes to speeds and temperatures of wireless charging when it comes to the semi-solid state versus the lithium-ion. But why is solid state batteries important? Well, battery packs fail and battery packs get recalled way more often than you would realize. And that may be because lithium-ion batteries use a liquid electrolyte solution, causing multiple engineering hurdles for those batteries. And that may be because there's liquid inside the batteries, but the solid-state battery technology is set out to fix that. But we'll get more in depth in the specifics of that later on in this video, and we'll also take this new charger through the full AB2 phones style charging test. And I've been testing out wireless chargers here on YouTube for about 2 years now, and I've consolidated all of my results into a semi-user-friendly dashboard for you guys to see, and it's for free. So when I review a new battery, I like to do a full charging speed test, checking the percentage of the battery throughout the charge in 15-minute intervals, just to see how fast each charger is charging up your phone. So you can see all of those times in a active line graph in the dashboard, and you can pick multiple chargers to be displayed on the graph at the same time, so you can do that in-depth comparison. So today we're going to do the full AB2 phone style charging test. We're going to do a temperature test to see how hot this charger gets, a wattage test to see how fast the charger recharges, and to see how fast the charger recharges your phone with the wire. And new to this channel, we're going to do a weight test just to see how big the thing is. But first, let's get to the most important part, the charging speed test. So let me cue that suspenseful music and let's get into it. I just want to say, if you buy a MagSafe charger before watching one of my videos,
congratulations, you played yourself.
Today we're going to test it out on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, which I just picked up, so I'm about 7 months late to the party. And I was reluctant to get an iPhone just because I'm an Android by heart. But I figured if I'm going to be testing out these batteries, then it would be best to test out the batteries on the phone it was engineered for. Also to test out the batteries on the phone that most of my viewers have. I slapped on the chargers when the phone was at about 5%. After 30 minutes, the KUXIU got to about 47% charge, and the Baseus got to about 40% charge. So yeah, off the bat, there's a pretty noticeable difference in the charging speeds. The ESR got to about 36%. And now I did test the ESR a while ago, and that was on the Pixel 10 Pro XL. So there may be some discrepancies when it comes to the results of the ESR charger. After 1 hour, the ESR got to about 57%. The KUXIU got to about 78%, which is pretty nuts. And the Baseus got to about 63%. After 1 hour and 30 minutes, the KUXIU got to about 93%. And the Baseus got to about 87%, and the ESR got to about 77%. And one thing that I want to point out, while doing this test on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I turned off all the optimized battery charging settings, and I turned off the charging limit, setting it to 100. But when wirelessly charging on the iPhone 17 Pro Max with the Baseus at 80%, the charge slows down significantly. To be honest, I think the charge stopped. So when testing out the Baseus, I had to literally detach the charger and put it back on, just so that the iPhone can recognize that we're still doing this wireless charging. So keep that in mind as well. And I did a full speed test 2 times with this Baseus charger on the iPhone, and it happened both times. So there may be another setting that I'm missing. If anybody knows, if I'm doing something wrong, please let me know down in the comment section. And in the future, I think I'm just going to stop the charging test at 80%, because no matter what, the wireless charging slows down significantly after 80%. So I might as well stop it right there anyways. Besides that, as you see from the results, the KUXIU charges noticeably faster than my previous top performer. And I already know I'm going to get some comments saying that charging speeds is not the most important thing when it comes to wireless charging, but when the difference is this noticeable, I think that that's something that you should know, and that's why you subscribe to this channel. But of course, the most important thing is the temperatures, and of course I tested that out too, and you can skip to that part of the video if you like. Also, if you're glad to see that my results are now tested on the iPhone, then you're probably in the Apple ecosystem and you might have an Apple Watch. So it's a must that you check out this great product. And this might be the only charger that you need for travel. This is a 100 watt 4-in-1 charging brick that can charge your iPhone, MacBook Air, Apple Watch, and AirPods all at the same time. And with the Apple Watch charging, I don't mean connecting the standard Apple Watch charging cable to the charger, but it actually has a wireless Apple Watch placement directly on the charger. And honestly, the size surprised me. The wall prongs fold in, the Apple Watch charger folds down as well, and the entire thing is small enough to throw into your pocket, into a tech pouch, or your backpack without taking up much space at all. It feels like one of those gadgets made specifically for frequent travelers or people who just want a clean desk setup. Now, when it comes to the charging speeds, it's actually pretty powerful. The dual USB-C ports can output up to 45 watts and 27 watts, which means you could charge up your MacBook Air while also charging up your phone at the same time. And this can even charge up the iPhone 17 Pro up to about 51% in just 20 minutes. And because this has smart power distribution, it automatically adjusts the charging speeds depending on how many devices are plugged in. So if you're tired of carrying around multiple chargers while traveling, this might be one of the cleanest all-in-one charging solutions out right now. But back to the solid-state battery technology and why it's important. So most batteries today use the lithium-ion technology, and a key detail for you to realize is that these batteries use that liquid electrolyte solution inside to move the energy around. And that liquid may be the weak point. It's flammable, it can degrade over time under stress like heat, drops, heavy usage, it can swell, and in the worst cases, it can lead to thermal runaway, which is just a technical way of saying fire risk. This becomes even more important with the MagSafe battery packs because these are sitting directly against your phone, charging wirelessly, which generates a good amount of heat. So you've got a compact battery and constant heat transfer, all things you will want to manage carefully. But this is where solid state batteries start to change things, or they set out to change things. Instead of using liquid electrolytes, solid state batteries use solid materials to move the ions. And the technology is betting that this one change will make a big difference. First, they're much more stable. There's no flammable liquid solutions slushing around inside the battery, so the risk of leaks or combustion drops significantly. Secondly, supposedly they handle heat a lot better, and that's huge for MagSafe because wireless charging isn't the most efficient process yet, and it naturally produces heat. And again, we're going to test out the heat on this battery pack, which I do for all my battery reviews, so you can go ahead and skip to that part of the video if you like. So when you combine those pros of the better thermals and lower fire risk, it makes solid state batteries a really strong fit for something like magnetic battery packs. Okay, so let's talk about the build now. So the front of the battery pack is plastic, but the back has an extremely soft touch feel, and it really does feel incredible. I'm glad to see that it does have a kickstand here because this is a bigger battery pack, and some other bigger battery packs don't have the kickstand, but I personally think that it is a must on a battery this size. And the side railing on this charger is metal, so this charger is more on the premium side when it comes to feel. You also get a USB Type-C cord attached to the charger, so no need to buy a separate tiny USB cord, and there is an LCD screen on the bottom showing you just how much charge is left on the charger. The Baseus is also on the bigger side when it comes to battery packs, but it is a little bit smaller than the S3. It's glossy plastic on the front, which I kind of don't like. I wish it was just a matte black on the sides and on the back of the charger. And the charger is plastic all the way around, but just because it's plastic doesn't lose any points in my book. It does still feel pretty good. There's also a USB Type-C cord attached to the charger, and there are indicator lights showing how much charge is left on the charger, but there is no LCD screen. And my biggest issue about this charger is that it doesn't have a kickstand. So after about 1 hour of charge, I tested out the temperature of the battery pack and the phone. So before I started to charge, both the battery pack and the phone was at about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. After 1 hour, the battery pack got to about 93 to 95 degrees, and the phone got to about 95 degrees as well. And keep in mind that the standard for Qi 2.2 battery packs is that they should never go over 140 degrees. So it did pass that test, and I have tested out some battery packs that got over that. I tested the temperature of the Baseus on the Pixel 10 Pro XL back in the day, and that got to 106 degrees, which is a little bit high. Yes, that is higher than the 104 degrees standard of Qi 2.2 charging. But of course, I also tested out the temperatures of the Baseus on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and after 45 minutes, that got to about 103 or 104 degrees. So it does stay under that threshold on the iPhone. Another thing I want to point out is that the Baseus did charge a little bit faster on the Pixel 10 Pro XL. So there is a little bit of difference in communications with 25-watt wireless charging on Android with the Pixel 10 Pro XL and the iPhone. But I'll go in depth about that in another video. I tested out the ESR temperature back in the day as well, and that got to 98 degrees, which is of course really good. The charger recharges at 30 watts. From my testing, it may get up to 35 watts at some point throughout the charge, but what I got on camera was 30 watts. Now, wirelessly charging your phone with the charger, I got a wattage of 30 watts again, which seems to be the standard for all chargers in 2026. I didn't get it on camera, but the Baseus recharges at 30 watts as well, and the ESR charges at 25 watts. For the Baseus wired charging, it got to 40 watts through my testing, which is really good. Actually, this is the highest wattage that I've seen from all of the MagSafe battery packs when it comes to wired charging. And throughout the wired charge, it may get to the 45 watts at some point throughout the charge, but I didn't get that on camera. The ESR was capped at 25 watts when it comes to wired charging. The KUXIU S3 weighs 245 grams. The ESR charger weighed 223 grams, and the Baseus weighs 204 grams. So yes, the Baseus is the lightest out of these three, and the KUXIU is actually the most heaviest. All right, so those were the results for all three chargers. We had one 25-watt solid state battery, we had one 25-watt lithium-ion battery, and one 15-watt lithium-ion battery. It looks like the KUXIU S3 with the semi-solid state technology is the new king when it comes to wireless 25-watt battery packs. But only time will tell if the solid state batteries are more reliable than the lithium ion batteries. So I would definitely be on the lookout for any incidents or any recalls for this solid state battery, or just any solid state batteries in general, just to see if there's an actual improvement. So if you want to see my review of the only 25-watt MagSafe battery pack that has active cooling, then check out this video right here, and I'll talk to you guys next time.